What's up, everyone? Let's have a discussion about accountability. Why don't people take accountability? Why is it like kryptonite to some people? All that. So this is not going to be a long video, but I really wanted to talk about, why people don't take accountability and how you can take accountability. How you can recognize your faults and finding faults and et cetera, and all that. So, taking accountability is difficult for people to do, and I know that we've all met people who have engaged in this lack of accountability, who have something has happened to them, or something happened on a job, or something happened within your own family, and instead of saying I'm sorry, it's my fault, it's I need to do better, I really messed that up, the gaslight, it's your fault somehow, it's you messed up, you didn't meet this, you didn't provide that, even though it's always a deflecting, a shifting of the blame. It's never a full-fledged, I'm taking responsibility for the things that I had control over. And they do it for various reasons, for embarrassment. They don't want to feel embarrassed. They don't like the shame, the feeling of feeling inadequate, unacceptable. It's a human phenomenon that is often that seems to have grown within the last few years. Again, I teach leadership courses. I was a leader for a long time, and I never passed the buck to my subordinates. Right? If it's my fault, it's my fault. If I messed up, if I didn't do anything, if I didn't do something to provide you with the proper training, the proper guidance, the proper whatever, I said, or something happened, it's on me. Right? One thing I teach a class, or I teach classes. When I talk about leadership, I talk about often a movie, a cartoon, Bug's Life. This always sounds cartoonish, right? Grown man talking about cartoons and whatnot. But there's a moment in the movie with the Bug's Life where the bad guy in the movie, Hopper, is talking to the princess, and the princess tries to shift blame. Tries to blame it on another aunt, Flick. And then Hopper says, "No, first rule of leadership. Everything is your fault. It's always the manager's fault, always the supervisor's fault. Can't pass responsibility." Now, I recognize that everybody's not a supervisor, everybody's not in leadership. I recognize that. But it's still a philosophy that I think that people really should live by. And I can't, and you can't do anything about people who refuse to live by a certain code. Can't do anything about that, right? If they don't have that training, that code, that leadership, that guidance, that sense of morality, that sense of responsibility to take accountability for their actions, there's nothing you can do about that. Right? They don't want to feel shame. They don't want to feel embarrassed. They don't want to feel like a fraud. They don't want to feel like as if they're missing or passing up an opportunity by taking accountability, taking responsibility. It's a human phenomenon. Get used to it. And I think that this environment now, for whatever reason, for various reasons, is enabling that type of behavior. Right? It's okay not to take accountability. It's okay not to take responsibility. Right? It's okay. It's okay. And I'm not saying that it's okay, but I think that this is where people think that it's okay not to take responsibility. And it's okay not to do what needs to be done. But if you're going to make it and become the best version of yourself, I'm going to advise you to take accountability and take responsibility for your actions, the things that you did. If you're part of a team, all you can do is take responsibility for the part of the team, for the part that you were responsible and accountable for. That's all you can do. If you're a leader of a company, group, team, gotta take responsibility. All right, so how do you take responsibility, right? So how do you fight against that to take accountability for your own actions? Well, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself and understand that, you know, people make mistakes, but you have to learn from your mistakes. And this is the sinister part of the problem is if you don't take accountability, if you're always passing the buck and you're always looking at other people and you're gaslighting people and you're saying it's not your fault and you're saying it's somebody else's fault and you're shifting blame and you're doing all this type of behavior, you can never ever grow from your mistakes. You can never ever grow from your mistakes. You'll never ever get there, wherever there is, because you don't have it, because it's not a learning opportunity. It's not a learning opportunity. And so it has to be a learning opportunity. So you have to take every fault, every failure, even successes, as learning opportunities for yourself. And you're denying yourself that ability, that opportunity, when and if you refuse to take accountability for your actions. So taking accountability is being honest with yourself, recognizing your faults, recognizing your strengths, recognizing your weaknesses, recognizing the opportunities, and recognizing your, potential future opportunities for growth, emotional, mental, physical, financial, academic, educational growth. So you have to recognize those type of opportunities. And you cannot be afraid of embarrassment. Nobody wants to be embarrassed. I don't want to be embarrassed. You want to be embarrassed? I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be ashamed. I don't want to feel shame. Nobody likes those feelings. But you have to deal with that. It's part of being a human being and growing from it. And until you recognize that these are opportunities, you'll never ever get to that place that you want to get to. So you have to recognize and take those opportunities for embarrassment and shame. So those are some of the biggest ideas that I have concerning, taking accountability. They're really just modes and methods and opportunities for personal self-development, personal self-growth. You cannot be afraid to feel shame or embarrassment. You cannot feel it. You cannot allow the fear of failure to inhibit your growth. Fear of failure, fear of shame, fear of embarrassment, lack of opportunity. You might fear a lack of opportunities in the future. If I mess up now, then the boss might not call on me again another time. The team will lose faith in me for another time. This is part of the growth, right? This is why we're doing these videos. This is why we're trying to become the best version of ourselves. Now we ought to minimize the mistakes, minimize the chance for mistakes, but maximize our opportunities for growth, mentally, physically, emotionally, and all that. So these are just some of the ideas that are going on. These people do not know how to drive. So, yes, again, fear of failure, fear of embarrassment. These are some of the greatest impediments to taking accountability. And somehow people think that this is a plus. It's not going to be that bad. And if I shift blame and blame it on somebody else, then I'll get through it. But it really makes you just, at the end of the day, makes you look cowardly, in all honesty. Think about what I said about Hopper and Princess Ada in Bug's Life, the movie. It is, when you do that type of thing, particularly as a leader, but if you're a part of a team on a job, or you're part of an organization or whatever, you don't take accountability, then not only are people not going to trust you, your fear of not being trusted is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because people aren't going to trust you. I'm not going to trust anyone. If I know it was your fault and you try to shift blame to somebody else, or if I find out later that you shifted blame to somebody else, I'm never going to trust you, and it's going to diminish my thoughts about you as a human being, as a member of the team, a member of the organization, as a leader. It's going to wreck the way that I look at you as a person. If you don't care about that, if that's not one of your goals, and to be well liked and well respected, because this is a respect thing. When somebody takes accountability, the level of respect goes up. Something goes wrong, it's like, I took the blame, it's my fault. My level of respect for you goes up. But when I know that you've shifted blame, you refuse to take accountability, you said, no, it's not my fault, it's this, that, and the other. I can't tell you how many times I had supervisors like that, where they would just blame things on everybody else. And one time, I had a situation where this boss had done something crazy. And he just told me to my face, something happens with this. I'm gonna say you did it. I'm not the boss. It wasn't my decision. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe you said it. Now, what do you think I thought about that person as a human being? As a human being, number one, and as a supervisor, number two, I lost all to this day. I don't have respect for him in that capacity. I mean, I respect people as a human being, but I don't have any respect for him as a leader, as a supervisor. Zero. So if you want your leadership to be respected, if you want your membership in the team and the organization to be respected, you need to learn to take accountability for your actions and all that. Don't be afraid of shame. Don't be afraid of embarrassment. People will respect you in the long run. Okay, it might be a moment in time before they look to you to have faith in your ability to get the job done, but that's part of the game. That's part of the process. And you have to build up that process again. You have to build up that leadership, build up that trust in your abilities and capabilities and going forward in the future. So those are just some of my ideas about it. You can't do anything about why people do it. I mean, the fear of failure, fear of being lack of respect, fear of not being chosen to lead something, be a part of something. You can't do anything about that. Those are personal flaws. What you can do is tell them to watch this video and tell them that your respect can be earned again as far as future opportunities for on a job or whatever. But but your development, your growth, your abilities, your development, your growth, your abilities should always be paramount to where you are as a person. So take accountability, take responsibility, say it's your fault, take it as a learning experience. Don't be afraid of not being selected, picked, and all that, because everything's an opportunity for growth and experience and all that. So I want to leave it off right there. Take responsibility. Don't be afraid of all this. And I hope that I said something that can really help you to become the best version of yourself. You're not going to be the best version of yourself by lying, by being deceitful, by gaslighting, by pushing it off on somebody else and all that. So being the best version of yourself means taking responsibility and accountability. And whatever's going on in the atmosphere today is certainly detrimental to overall human growth, development, cooperation, and all that. So you're better than that. I know that you are. So just strive for excellence in everything that you do and everything that you say. So much love and peace, everyone.